Hi, everybody. Welcome to our webinar at John Knox Village in Pompano Beach, Florida. My name is Monica McAfee, and I am the Chief Marketing and Innovation Officer at John Knox Village, and I am just celebrating 5 years, as is my colleague will be celebrating his 5-year anniversary as well, coming up very soon, our special guest today. So just to kind of go over our agenda, we're going to have the opportunity to kind of generally chat about what John Knox Village is all about. What is the Life Plan community? We'll go over all of our wonderful life enrichment events, then why JKV is expanding, a little bit of information about Westlake, also what the new homes will look like, the timeline for that, the name of those buildings being the View and the Terrace. Then you get to meet my friend and colleague, Thom, as well as getting an overview of the entire campus, the opening of our Welcome and Innovation Center, our incredible aquatic complex, our pavilion, and then you get to experience the Westlake animation video. And then I'll share a little bit of information on some end of year savings that we're doing, and then we can take questions. So I want to just also acknowledge and thank Thomas Rodriguez, who's here at JKV, helping us with our production and helping me with slides. And if we experience any technical difficulties, as we do in these days of technology, please be patient with us. So let's get started. So what is a life plan community? It gives you the opportunity to create your own plan about your future. And it also gives you access to the best long-term care insurance you could possibly have to keep you safe and healthy and well in the future. It's also the biggest gift that you can possibly give your family. It eliminates the worry for your loved ones if they live a great distance from you, or even if they live nearby, they know that everything's going to be taken care of for you. And what that gives you is peace of mind. So in order to become a John Knox Village resident, you pay a one-time entrance fee. And in the year that you do that, you typically can put about 50% of that, half of that expense, towards prepaying for your health care, which you're able to use as a tax deduction. Then on your monthly service fee, you can deduct about 40% of that each month, again, because you're prepaying for your health care. It gives you unlimited access to our assisted living and skilled nursing. And I would want to mention to you that we are the only life plan community in the state of Florida that has the greenhouse model of care for our skilled nursing, and that we have been able to keep our residents in skilled nursing so healthy during this time of COVID because of the model that the greenhouse home uses. Then it gives you, of course, access to our incredible lifestyle. We're located on 70 acres, so there's so much to do here. And Thom will share a little bit more about all the different amenities that we're adding to the community. So our next slide. Oh, this is a great slide. This really shows you how people interact at John Knox Village and remain active. We've got Eric up in the corner there. He's one of our fitness professionals. We do walks all over Florida, believe it or not. During the time of COVID, we've had activities where residents wanted to show their gratitude to the staff for everything that has been done here to keep them healthy, safe, and well. We have wonderful partnerships with the VAS, Venetian Arts Society. That's a performance there you can see down in the bottom left corner. And then we have a resident, that's Dr. Paul Lurie up in the right-hand corner, and he is always out kayaking, and you might find him kayaking on a canal with our CEO and president, Jerry Stryker. So this gives you a little bit of an idea of all of the things that we do related to life enrichment. We host more than 400 events a month. Now that's been a challenge, of course, during COVID, but we have pivoted, as they say, and we've been doing a number of those events virtually and still partnering with many of the cultural organizations throughout Broward County, as well as the world. So that's really been one of the benefits of COVID, if you can imagine, is that increasing the opportunity to experience things all across the world. We have a 6,000 square foot fitness studio. Thom was very involved in the renovation and how we've been able to achieve that great and improved space, state-of-the-art equipment. We've also, to adapt during COVID, we've only limited the class size to about 10 people, and people have to wear their masks and stay healthy. We have wonderful community partners. We've got memberships with area golf clubs. We have a membership with the Marriott Beach Club. I mentioned the Venetian Arts Society. We partner with NSU Fort Lauderdale Art Museum, the Bonnet House, just all kinds of wonderful partnerships that enable our residents to enjoy those programs and visits at no charge to them. Um, so a lot of you may be asking, so why is John Knox Village expanding? We are located on 70 beautiful botanic garden acres just off of I-95 and about 2 miles from the Atlantic Ocean. Some of you may know that Pompano Beach is really going through a cultural and economic just renaissance, and that we want to maximize the views of our incredible water, our water venues that we have on campus. We have 2 lakes. We'll be expanding those. Thom will talk a little bit more about that. So we wanted to make sure that all of our residents could enjoy lake views and access to the water, and as well as dining venues, and also to provide some additional covered parking. We know that's really important for people in South Florida, and that's something I've learned living here. So this gives you a really lovely view, if you will, of our Lake Maggie. And if you're looking from the east towards the west, towards I-95, and I'm not sure exactly who all are, might be joining us on the call, but for some of you, if you've not been here before, you may recognize Castle's Tower in the background there, and Thomas is helping point that out with the cursor. And that's the building that you see from I-95 that says John Knox Village. And so many people are so surprised to learn that we're actually on 70 acres, and you can see this lush, beautiful botanic landscape. Then you see the view, which is the larger new apartment home building. And then the one in the foreground is the terrace. And then the area right in front of it, we refer to that area as the Grove, and that's going to be filled with all kinds of beautiful trees. Thom works very closely with arborists, and we have just beautiful, beautiful trees all over campus. So the next slide gives you a highlight generally of the inventory that we'll have with the new construction. We'll have 150 new apartment homes ranging from about 1231 square feet up to about almost, not quite 2,259 square feet. I'm sorry, I was going to make it even bigger. That would be interesting. But our pricing starting from $332 and going up to $609, and that would be for the penthouses. And then you have your monthly service fees, and those are the fees that I mentioned earlier, that about 40% of what you pay each month is tax deductible because you're prepaying for your health care. So we can go into more detail on what is all included in your monthly service fee, but it gives you access to a declining balance for dining. It gives you access to the majority of our programming. It gives you maintenance-free living. And that's really, really an important part of what that monthly service fee includes. And then by locking into that, it gives you the peace of mind of knowing that if you had to transition to assisted living or skilled nursing, you're only paying that amount of money each month. You're not paying what you would be paying out of pocket if you were going to an assisted living community or a skilled nursing community. I would mention too that those fees go up typically each year between 3 and 5%, and that's in conjunction with cost of living. So to give you a brief summary of where we are in the timeline is we're currently in the $100 phase, where we've got a number of people who have signed up to be priority depositors at John Knox Village because they're interested in moving into the Westlake community in about 2024, that'll be finished. So right now we're doing the priority deposit phase, and then we'll move into the 10% phase, and then we'll move into the construction phase. So that will be actually, this needs to be updated because of the situation with COVID. We will be finishing construction in 2024. This is another, just a lovely picture of the view and the terrace, and it gives you the opportunity to see how people will be able to access walking around the perimeter of the lakes. And I think the next is going to be, oh, this is really fun. I'm happy to show this and share this with you. It shows you the interiors of the building for the view and the terrace. So all new modern amenities, beautiful floor to ceiling windows, and incredible views. Again, the views not only from the, the interior, but then when you go out onto your balcony, the ability to see, now the photo you see, the rendering in the top left-hand corner is from the west, looking from the west to the east. So you have that beautiful view of Lake Maggie. And that gives you a great example in the lower middle picture of what the views look like from your interior looking out. So there's just opportunity for great and beautiful light. So the view is 15 stories. On the first floor, it's all amenities, which serve the entire campus. Then on the second and third floors is parking, and Thom will spend a little bit more time talking about that. And when I mention the amenities, there'll be a dining venue, there'll be a coffee and wine bar, there'll be access to a sacred space, there'll be all of our wonderful programming venues, including a small theater. We'll have a beautiful art studio. And then the terrace building is a little bit smaller. It is attached to the view. It's 11 stories, and it's a smaller building, so it's not as large, obviously, as you see in the view. So you can see all the different amenities that are listed there that you could enjoy. Now, this gives you a little bit of an idea, and I know this is a lot to absorb in a PowerPoint presentation. So our life plan consultants will be so happy to help you. But it gives you an idea of knowing that the minimum square footage, again, being about that 1,200 or so square feet, 1 bedroom plus a den and 1.5 baths, and then moving up to the penthouse, which is the 2 bedroom plus a den and 2.5 baths. And then over in the terrace, you have access to 2 bedrooms, 2 baths throughout that building. So one thing that we've learned, John Knox Village has been around for 53 years. And the way people lived 53 years ago is certainly not the way they live today. So we understand that people want open floor plans, they want access to great storage, they want great views, and they want beautiful amenities. So all of these apartment homes will provide all of that for you. So now I get to introduce you to Thom Price, a friend and colleague, and I'm gonna cheat a little bit and use his bio here. I could tell you all kinds of nice things off the top of my head, but I'll also tell you some things about his really incredible career. So I mentioned that Thom will be here almost 5 years. He's got to wait to St. Patty's Day, and then we're really going to celebrate with him. Thom's leadership has been a driving force for the campus, for campus improvements. And I can tell you that our current inventory is absolutely beautiful. He's raised the standards for our designer finishes, and he's also assembled a really, really incredibly talented team. He oversaw all of the project I mentioned for this 6,000 square foot fitness studio, our wonderful wellness park. We say that it's a park where dogs and people can run free. We're very pet friendly here. He's also taking care of improving the renovations for our dining, the patio and lakeside and private dining room areas. He's renovated our Seaside Cove skilled nursing, took an institutional model that was 40 years old, and it's as though it's a brand new building. And then he also worked on the $2 million renovation of our main gathering spot on campus. And some of you may have attended events at our Village Center. He's also oversaw with his wonderful team the building of our new Welcome and Innovation Center. And I'm really looking forward to hosting some of you here in very small groups. And then the really big, Thom is pretty busy. He's got the aquatic complex that he's working on right now, and that's scheduled to open in late fall. And we're so excited about this. We went from a small, single, if you will, more residential type of pool to a really, really incredible aquatic complex. And he'll tell you more about that, as well as the oversight that he has for the pavilion, which is, we've done some groundbreaking on that. And it's not mentioned in the slides that we have, but he's also working on a project that we're going to be referring to as our Center for Healthy Living. And we have exciting news for our partnership on that with Johns Hopkins, HealthStat, and Holy Cross. So there's a lot going on at John Knox Village, and Thom's going to be able to speak now to all of the wonderful projects he has oversight for and responsibility. I don't know that he sleeps much, but please help me welcome Thom Price, our Director of Plan Operations.
Oh, Thom, you're on mute.
Thom, you're on mute. That's going to be the catchphrase of 2020, I think, is you're on mute. Okay, so now here's Thom Price, and he's going to share a few things with you about what he's doing here at JKV.
Welcome, everybody. Glad to be talking with you today about all the exciting things we have going on here at John Knox Village. As Monica mentioned, it is a campus that's been here for 50 some years. So we've gone through and re-looked at all of our independent living units. We've made tremendous upgrades to those. They're some of the nicest units in the area. We've also gone through and built a new Welcome and Innovation Center that we're going to be showing pictures of here shortly, a new aquatic center. We're going to have a new pavilion that we'll show you some pictures of. So we're really bringing up a lot of our infrastructure and amenities to a whole new level. But in so doing that, we have 70 acres that's considered some of the most beautiful landscape in this area. And we are striving to keep that a botanical garden, we like to say. And even when the arborists from independent practices as well as the cities come and look at our property, they can't get over how beautiful it is. We have over 4,000 trees on the 70 acres, and we have over 100 different species of trees, some of them quite exotic. We have live orchids that we plant that are planted and naturally growing throughout the campus. And we're continuing to beautify that campus as we go along through all these construction and renovations.
Thom, if I could jump in, just to help orient people to the campus, if Thomas can point out I-95, and I mentioned Castles Tower, which is typically the building that you see from 95, the new construction, which is Westlake and the view, the terrace there, and then Thom will spend a little bit more time talking to you in detail about the aquatic complex, which is going to be just across the way there from the Westlake area. And then Village Towers, of course, to the right there, facing both north and south. And then you can see Eastlake, which is right across, if you will, Lake Maggie, just to help you get your bearings. And then Thomas, if you could please point out the main entrance to the campus. So when you all come to visit, you'll come through the main gate there at Southwest 3rd Street, and you'll definitely be joining us at our beautiful new Welcome and Innovation Center. And then Heritage Tower, just there to the left, is that was our newest building, believe it or not, and that's about 17 years old now. So that's not to say that it's still in the condition it was 17 years ago. We are going to do a major renovation in that building and updates, and all of the apartment homes, as they become vacant, are fully renovated. So Thom and his team have done an excellent job for that. It's hard to orient on screen like this, but again, this is a map that we can share with you all as we're working with you.
I believe the next slide shows this is the new Welcome and Innovation Center. It's 7,200 square feet of new space. That's where the sales and marketing and Monica's team have their offices. It's where we greet the new residents. We have a state-of-the-art design center showing all of our finishes that are available, from cabinetry to flooring to faucets from kitchens and baths, as well as we have innovation where we can actually show you the different floor plans electronically and visually, how all the different units look within the different buildings and everything. This is our aquatic center. As Monica said, we went from a very, very small pool that was probably 20 by 30 in that neighborhood to now the new aquatic center has a 75-foot long lap pool. It has 4 lanes in it. It's approximately 30 feet wide. That lap pool has almost 86,000 gallons of water in it. We have a new resort pool that has over 89,000 gallons of water in it, to give you a feel for the size of it, as well as a new spa that has over 1,200 gallons of water in it. These are huge increases. They're state-of-the-art pools. They are saline water. You've heard of salt water. These are saline water. And these pools in a 24-hour time period, pump over 1 million gallons of water through the system. So it's state of the art. This complex also has 2 pickleball courts, 2 bocce ball courts, and then a grill area for events that we're holding. It's called Strikers. It's kind of an open bar area that looks out onto the resort pool. There's about 60 people that can comfortably, with distance, sit in the Strikers bar area, as well as on this slide here, you see the Glades restaurant. The Glades Grill is our latest restaurant that's finishing up. It is actually in our recently renovated Village Center project. It opens up to the pool area so that it can also support all amenities and any type of function we have out on the pool. And in Strikers Grill, it can support that with food as well as drinks and for other events and stuff. The Aquatic Center is scheduled to finish up this year. And then the Glades Grill is also going through final inspections as we speak. So that's going to be a tremendous add to our campus. As those projects are finishing up, the new pavilion is about to get started. We've been working for the last couple months, removing some older villas, rerouting some infrastructure, just getting everything ready to get the pad ready for this new pavilion center. It will probably start in the next 30 days. It's scheduled to start with the first sheet piling that will create this new bulkhead wall for the new lake we're going to be building. That project will be wrapping up January of 2022, and we'll probably be operationalizing it within about 60 days of that date. So that pavilion will have a 400-seat auditorium for special events and for resident meetings. It'll have a bar area that you'll walk into, and then you can go right or left to 2 different dining venues that'll have different types of food. This is another look coming kind of from the tower that's looking at the pavilion. On the right, you see the auditorium area. It's a state-of-the-art auditorium, state-of-the-art sound system, lighting system. We can host a multitude of types of functions within this venue right here. And then the 2 restaurants will be, each one will have a different venue, but they're fed from the same kitchen. When these are completed, and then when the tower is completed, there'll be 5 different separate eating venues at John Knox Village. Here you see the Sea Glass restaurant and the Pearl restaurant. These are the 2 restaurant venues within the pavilion. And then you see the Nautilus bar, which is in the main entrance to the pavilion. And if you go right or left of this Nautilus bar, it's where you go into the Pearl restaurant or to the Sea Glass.
So our next slide is going to be a wonderful animated virtual reality tour for you to get a feel for what the Westlake area will look like, the pavilion area will be, and it'll just give you a great sense of the entire campus. And as Thom explained, on either side in the pavilion, you have the Pearl restaurant on the left on the west side, and then you've got the Sea Glass on the east side, and then the Nautilus in the middle. All righty, so I hope you enjoy this. Thanks so much, Thomas. Well, we hope you enjoyed that video. I think I get excited every time I get to see it and enjoy it. And it's really been wonderful for our current residents to get a feel for how things are progressing at John Knox Village. And we're very grateful to, we work with EDSA, Landscape Architects. They're known throughout the world for their beautiful work. Disney is one of their clients as well. They really know South Florida, as well as Perkins Eastman. So we're partnered with some really great people. So the other thing I just want to mention to you is, that's not going to be here until 2024. So for some of you, that makes a lot of sense to get into our priority deposit queue for that. It gives you the opportunity to select your apartment home sooner rather than later, because we know people prefer certain views in certain locations. And so that gives you the opportunity to do that. So I encourage you to do, it's fully refundable, $100 deposit. And also for others, it's, people want to take advantage of John Knox Village now, today, and the housing market today. It's such a great time to put your house on the market. And know that you have the peace of mind of a life plan contract in place for you. So we have Heritage Tower, we have Castles Tower, we have Village Tower, we have Eastlake, and we have villas. So there really is something for everyone. It's one of the things I just love about John Knox Village. The other thing I just want to mention to you is that we have these great end of year savings on select inventory. So take advantage of that now, because like everything, prices will go up in 2021. We usually see a few people come in at the end of the year because they want to take advantage of that. And I urge you to do that. Reach out to your life plan consultants, or they'll be back in touch with you as well to just fill you in. I know that you have preferences on what you would like, where you'd like to live, and they can help you figure that out. They have probably almost, I would say, close to 100 years of experience if you take the whole team. So I hope that helps with just a general overview. Hard to get it all in one webinar. So the next thing, just to remind you that you can make an appointment to come on campus. We use all of our safety precautions, taking temperatures if necessary, depending on where we are, as well as wearing masks and keeping people safe. I encourage you to come visit the campus, because as you can see, it really is a beautiful spot. And I encourage you to take advantage of the priority deposit. So now we get to do questions. And I think I see a couple already in the queue there too. So let's see what they are. My parents don't have internet, but do watch DVDs. Can your presentation be burned to a DVD? Absolutely, we can do that. My good friend Thom is here, who you can't see in the screen, can help us with that. We'd be delighted to do that. We also have, if you take a moment to look online, there's some other YouTube videos. So if there's anything that you think they might be interested in, we'd be happy to make copies for you on that. Will the animation be available after this presentation? That too is available on our YouTube channel. You can take a peek at that. So I encourage you to do that. Let's see. We have other questions here. Thom, I know we want to take advantage of having Thom answer some questions. We had some people who asked about electric car parking in the new parking area, the covered parking. So Thom, are we going to have that?
Yes, we are going to have, in the initial construction of that building, we're going to have several spaces that are set aside for electric car charging. And we are also putting in provisions to be able to expand that as time goes on. So that's all being looked at on the front side, and we will have some amount available from the very beginning.
That's really helpful. So for those of you who asked those questions, especially the one about getting the DVD, if you could identify yourself or call us directly and let us know, because we want to be able to get that for you. Let's see. Why are there 2 mechanical closets in the Tarpon C2 floor plan? I would have to pull that floor plan up to take a peek at that. But Thom, do you know offhand why there were 2 mechanicals in that? Is it because it's larger?
It could be one of 2 things. It could be because it's just a larger space and they wanted to break out the bedrooms from the common area, or it could be a unit that is on 2 different faces of the building, like a corner unit where one side could get more direct sun than the other. So it could have been split for that reason. It would depend on the actual layout of that unit.
again, identify yourself or call us and we can answer that specifically, but that's another great question to add to our frequently asked questions. We're working on that as well. So there's another question, Thom, about will there be outlets in the storage units? And are the storage units going to be temperature controlled?
The storage units that are in the parking deck, a portion of those, I believe, are temperature controlled. If it's on the main floors, then yes, it would be temperature controlled. As far as outlets in those storage units, that I would have to get back to you on that.
Let us check with the architects on that, on the outlets, but every apartment home will have access to a storage unit. And I want to say they're about 4 by 5, aren't they, Thom?
Roughly, yeah, roughly.
Roughly about that. Let's see. Okay, we've got the question about the DVD. I'm just reading them as they come in. Let's see. Thom, this is a question too. Will the exhaust fans in the apartments be attached to an external hood?
Yes, all the exhaust fans are exhausted out of the building, as well as the dryers are all vented outside of the building. They're not ventless, they are vented dryers.
Oh, thanks, because that was another question. So, and people wanted to ask specifically if there were washers and dryers in each apartment home, and I can tell you there are. So that's very convenient. Do we have the option of installing a gas stove? Unfortunately, that is not an opportunity in this particular arrangement. Really, on campus, everywhere we have electric. So that's just how the entire community is set up. Someone asked about pets. So we absolutely love pets. We just want everyone to be responsible pet owners. And really, we see that every day. It's been funny with all these Zoom meetings, watching our residents who join us for different meetings and their dog is sitting in their lap. But we do have that wonderful pet park. And we're very lenient on our pet policy. We just want everyone to be very respectful. And I can tell you that even when there are hurricanes, we take very good care of our pets, and as we're maybe sheltering. So we do that. And I want to, that's not in this particular presentation, but we really take excellent care of our residents. Thom, you can speak to what you do from a maintenance perspective, but I can tell you from a lifestyle perspective, members of the senior staff, members of the operations team, security, we all live and reside in the buildings or in an area like the village center where people who live in the villas may go to stay during a hurricane. So Thom, what are the other things you do from a maintenance and operations perspective to help residents?
So prior to hurricane, my operations team, they all got their roles. So the grounds manager, he takes care of anything that happens to be outside around the villas, any loose furniture that's on people's patios, plants, that type of thing. He makes sure those are brought in. Residents who have stuff in the high rises out on the balconies, our maintenance team assists with making sure all that stuff is brought inside the units and flowers, so we don't have any issues with stuff blowing around. We go around and we literally meet with the cluster groups in the core of each building, and we talk about the hurricane. We talk about where this particular hurricane, where it's coming, which way should they expect the winds to be coming, what should they expect to see and experience during the hurricane. So they're already thinking about it. So when they experience it, it's not that big of a deal. And it's worked out very well. I've been here for, like you said, almost 5 years. I've been here for every hurricane we've had. I've lived the building. And if there's an issue going on during the hurricane, should we have, window that leaks or something, should something happen, we have maintenance, we have housekeeping team that immediately jumps on it, and we start working on it with cleaning up or doing whatever we can to assist the residents immediately. So we're living it with you in the buildings when it happens, and that's in every single building. The healthcare buildings are even more detailed. We go through a pre-hurricane check starting before June 1st. We've had all our buildings checked out, generator-wise, fuel, everything that could possibly, extra water, everything that they can possibly need is already taken care of prior to the hurricane season. So.
And knock on wood, we haven't had to worry about that this season. Okay, so we've got some more really good questions. Does the square footage include the balcony? And it does not. I mean, your square footage is the interior, the heated space, or not heated in Florida so much, but your temperature controlled space. Let's see, are tubs as well as showers in the units available? That's something we're really working on right now, Thom, right? Where most of it is set up for showers. And there is an opportunity for tubs. Some people have asked about the walk-in tubs, and there would be an upcharge for that, of course, because we know that eventually if you were going to move, we would need to remove that tub. So we're still working out all of those details. Thom, do you have anything else to add on that?
Only that in the showers, you know, we've gone from a standard shower that had the 6-inch curve where the doors went to more of the upgrade of the more zero entry showers with the glass doors and glass walls, like you would see in a high-end condo or high-end home. So we're moving to more and more of that type of unit. And in the event that you're currently in a wheelchair, you're able to go into the shower without having to transfer from from the chair to a bench or some situation. So, you know, we do work at John Knox Village, healthy living and living within your space. So anything we can do to help make that experience better, we're working on a daily basis, trying to explore it and put it into our renovations.
That's true. Another question is, can you choose the type of light bulbs and fixtures? We'll have standard fixtures, and then you'll have the opportunity, like just as if you move into John Knox Village currently, you may want to upgrade a ceiling fan, or you may want to change your chandelier. And that would be something that you would be doing on your own. And then there would be fees associated with some of those, some of that work. It would depend on what's going on. Because Thom, for the most part, we do general maintenance, but if it's a special project, then there are fees associated with that.
Yeah, and most of the lighting within the units is LED. Well, all our lighting is LED for one thing, for energy efficiency. But also the LEDs are now, the fixtures are much flatter, which allow us to have higher ceilings. And so we use a lot of those type fixtures. So, but if you have over a dining area or someplace where you want a chandelier, or say you, instead of a can fixture, you want track lighting to show art or something, we can help you with that. We will get it installed and make sure it's all done properly and mounted properly and everything. There is a small upcharge to cover that expense, but
right. We really basically do things at cost where, we're very reasonable, if you will, on those kinds of things. If you were doing that in your home, I'm sure it would be much more expensive. This is a great question. Is there a community garden or a plan to have one? And I can tell you that we have a beautiful rose garden right now. We do not have a community garden yet, but we hope to have one. The community that I came from in North Carolina had a fabulous community garden, and we are really looking forward to hopefully establishing one of those on campus here at John Knox Village, working with a culinary guild as well as our dining services team. We really want to produce some really literally farm to table on campus. There's another community up in Lancaster, Pennsylvania that's doing a great job with that. So it's absolutely on our radar. And when you come to live at John Knox Village, you can hopefully be on that committee and help us make that happen. Let's see. Oh, how is John Knox Village handling rising water levels? Thom, you could talk a little bit to that, what we're doing with all our drainage and what have you are all around campus.
So in Broward County, as in most of the southern counties of Florida, we have to maintain all the water. They want us to maintain the majority of our water on our campus. So with our lakes that we have a lot of control over, we can help support that and have in my 5 years here, we've never had an issue with water coming into a building. All of our newer buildings per code are built at about a foot higher than the flood level now. So that changes from year to year, but we raise those buildings. But as we do that, we're also taking care of drainage in other areas with both underground drainage systems, as well as tying in our lakes and everything else. So we've had some tremendous rains here where we may have, we may have 12, 15 inches of rain in a 2-day period or something like that. And yeah, our lakes are full and our swells may fill up for 24 hours, but within 24 hours, our drainage system has taken care of it. So we've been very fortunate. We're in a good spot.
We are just generally geographically, so that's very helpful. Here's another question. What is the buffer between the parking garage and the apartments for noise and fumes? So Thom, if you want to just describe what the parking areas will look like on the 2nd and 3rd floor.
So the 2nd and 3rd floor garage areas, we have a screen that goes around the outside for looks, but it allows air to flow through. Plus we have ventilation, air that's forcing fresh air through the parking lot from a fume standpoint. And for the size of our parking deck, we have relatively few cars moving compared to a municipal parking deck that you may be familiar with, or an enclosed parking deck. We also, in the structure, when it was designed, we are taking into account with thicker concrete slabs and everything to take care of any noise or vibration. So we don't anticipate any issues along that line.
Okay, well, that's really helpful. It doesn't appear that we have any other questions. I know we covered a great deal, so I appreciate your patience. Some things are much easier to translate in a PowerPoint presentation than others. So again, thank you for your patience with that. I'm sure you may have other questions, so don't hesitate to reach out to us. Again, I mentioned your life plan consultants will be following up with you. We can help provide specific answers to some of those questions where you identified yourself. We'll be delighted to do that. I want to thank Thom Price so much for joining us. Again, the team's doing an unbelievable job. There's a lot of innovation happening at John Knox Village, and thanks to Thom and his team for making that happen. I want to thank Thomas Rodriguez. Thank you. He's off here to the right, helping. I call him my webinar whisperer. Thank you to the marketing team, and thank you to each and every one of you. Hope you will join us as the Village Club member with your $100 deposit. And we will look forward to hopefully seeing you on campus at John Knox Village very soon. Take care, be safe, stay well. Bye now.
Bye.